I'm Joan Lunden. Welcome to DirecTV Hometown Heroes. We travel all over America to communities large and small to find stories about DirecTV subscribers who perform extraordinary acts of kindness and courage every day. Tonight, you'll meet a Missouri writer who turns words into actions all around the world.
We created a mechanism where people could get involved, give it their time, give it their resources, and know that they could make a difference.
Hear the story of a flight attendant from Boston who is leading a fight against cancer.
In October, we had raised $5,000. By the following May, we had raised $283,000.
And find out how a 22-year-old Atlanta woman is changing the lives of teenage girls all over the country.
It's just an awkward time. Your body's changing and you're trying to establish who you're going to become. At times it can be challenging.
This is DirecTV Hometown Heroes.
People get ready, there's a train coming, picking up passengers from coast to coast. All you need is faith to hear that diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, you just get on board.
Tonight, our first hero was nominated by one of you, a viewer. Because of the leadership of the man you're about to meet, thousands of people have been mobilized into a worldwide army of givers. Springfield, Missouri. It's a city of more than 150,000 people that still retains most of its small-town charm. And just outside the town is the home of Hal Donaldson, best-selling author of inspirational books. But Hal isn't just a man of words. As the founder of Convoy of Hope, a worldwide nonprofit relief organization, he's also a man of action.
How you doing, sir? Good. Thanks for coming out today. We've been able to mobilize hundreds of thousands of people. It's beyond the call of duty, and our dream is to mobilize millions. We mobilize people to meet the needs of poor and suffering people in America and around the world.
In the spring of 2008, floodwaters swept through the towns and farmlands of the Midwest.
You know, the challenge is the water is receding, people are coming back in, and only now are they discovering that their homes will be unlivable.
Move them or stack them on the other side? Okay.
Today, Hal and an army of volunteers are handing out food and supplies to thousands of flood victims here in Burlington, Iowa.
One of the most fulfilling things in my life is to be able to walk through the lines and let them know that they matter. Had a rough go, haven't you?
We have. This is our home and our garage.
Wow.
It's unreal.
I hope what you get today is a help to you.
We appreciate so much.
You're more than welcome, and our prayers will be with you guys, okay?
Hal knows the pain of losing everything in the blink of an eye. When he was 9, a drunk driver killed his father and left his mother severely injured.
It changed our life because we had to go on welfare. My mother couldn't work. She had many months of recovery.
Tragedy derailed Hal's life, but the kindness of others gave him hope.
They would show up at the door with bags of groceries. Times that we had holes in our shoes, and people would see that, and they would come and say, "Hey, Hal, I'm going to buy you a pair of tennis shoes." And so they'd take us to get shoes, you know? And that really shaped me. I mean, that really told me what life really was about. It wasn't about what you can get, but it's about what you can give.
Hal's family eventually put their lives back together, and years later, after some smaller-scale charity efforts, he founded Convoy of Hope, which is funded by grants and donations. His goal was to give himself and others a way of helping those who need it.
We created a mechanism where people could get involved, give it their time, give it their resources, and know that they could make a difference.
What began as a grassroots effort to help the poor has grown into a disaster relief organization with a fleet of trucks and a 30,000 square foot warehouse in Springfield, Missouri.
This is where all our actual product comes into. Some disaster relief buckets, your sports drinks like Powerade, those are some blankets, ramen noodles, some mac and cheese, chocolate. It's a real treat for some of the kids that don't normally get some items like that. You know, we take that for granted, but little kids love that stuff.
After the recent Midwestern floods, Hal paid a visit to farmer Ned Harper in Iowa.
You can kind of see the water lines. You can see where it sat here for a while. Then it moved down. So you're standing in my kitchen, and then my dining room. This is my living room with my couch, and you can sit in here and you can see the farm.
Ned is young and able to rebuild, but many farmers in the area are not as fortunate. Hal and Convoy of Hope brought food and supplies to the farmers and asked Ned what else was needed.
There's no power, you know. People don't have generators. People don't have pressure washers. People don't have water, you know. They just do with what they have.
In terms of the generators, I mean, would that bless a lot of people if
You
we
bet.
get some generators
You
up
bet.
here? Okay, we're going to go to work on that
Yeah.
part of it. You could see the pain etched in his face, and now it's our responsibility to respond. And I just looked him in the eye and I said, Ned, we're people of our word. We will be back, and we will be bringing many people with us.
Back at Convoy's worldwide headquarters, Hal's staff of 50 coordinates multiple relief missions around the globe.
Diana, why don't you tell us just the numbers? How many people helped?
At the outreach in West Palm Beach, there were 4,075 guests that were helped and 790 volunteers.
Very
We had a
good.
great outreach.
Awesome, awesome.
Convoy of Hope has so far distributed food and supplies to nearly 16 million people worldwide. But for Hal, that's only the beginning.
We do have a Hope Walk that's going to be taking place in El Salvador in October. In addition to that, there's a Hope Walk in Kenya in March of next year.
That global level of compassion and commitment is what makes Convoy of Hope unique. It's a sense of devotion that comes straight from the top.
You don't ever think that you're going to need help, and when people do help you, it's awful kind of them to do those kinds of things for you.
Hal's probably one of the most compassionate people that I know that truly lives everything he believes in his heart.
And when you look at what we have, every truck, this building, it's because of partnership and people that caught the vision that Hal gave birth to and carried all these years.
Somebody had to put it together and do it. There's no doubt about that. You've done a great job. Thank you. I want to shake your hand one more time.
You bless us. Thanks for being a part of this.
But Hal says he's just completing the cycle of generosity that began during his childhood when his family was in need, and a helping hand made all the difference in the world.
Seeing the kids in the cars today, it reminds me of how I was at that age, where at times you feel helpless. And that's why at Convoy, we smile at people, we greet them, we want them to know we're their friend and we love them.
Convoy of Hope has mobilized more than 200,000 volunteers and over 5,000 organizations to offer assistance to families in need in nearly 50 countries around the world. And for his extraordinary dedication, we're proud to call Hal Donaldson a DirecTV hometown hero. Coming up next, how the joyful life of one Massachusetts woman has helped save countless others.
They're raising money right now to buy a digital breast imaging machine.
And later, we will head from a small New England village to the city of Atlanta to find out where teenage girls go when they need a safe place to talk.
We carve 1 hour out of the week where girls can go and they can be positive and they can celebrate one another for their accomplishments. They can talk about issues that they're going through or questions they may have.
For more information on these and all of our stories, go to directv.com/heroes. You're watching DirecTV's Hometown Heroes. I'm Joan Lunden. Though experts say cancer rates are slowly dropping this year, more than 500,000 Americans will die of some form of the disease, and that's why our next story is so important. Correspondent Rachel Campos-Duffy explains.
Hingham, Massachusetts. It's a charming seaside town just 8 miles from the Boston city limits. And here in this nondescript office building on a quiet side street, a small group of women who call themselves the Friends of Mel Foundation are selling bracelets to raise extraordinary amounts of money to help people living with cancer.
Here, pull up a chair and join us. The mission of Friends of Mel is to provide quality cancer care for the whole patient and their caregivers.
This is Pauline Alighieri, the founder of Friends of Mel.
In and out of the office all of last week.
She's traveled the world as a flight attendant, but her heart has never wandered from the memory of one of her closest friends, Mel Simmons, the inspiration behind Friends of Mel.
You gonna go on the town? You gonna look for sailors?
Try and keep up. We're gonna go to the docks and pick up some sailors tonight.
Pauline met Mel nearly 40 years ago when they both went to work for Delta Airlines.
She just was the most magnetic person.
You can talk to,
She just had this wonderful sense of humor, this great way of looking at life.
My whole bag.
That's your whole bag. Let me see it
This
again.
is my eyeshadow.
That's your...
You always felt good for having been around her.
Pretty as a picture.
Mel was like a cross between Gilda Radner and Mother Teresa. I mean, she could make you laugh that hard, nonstop, and also make you cry.
When Mel was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2000, her flight attendant friends knew the always generous Mel would want something to give to the people caring for her.
I just happened to see these little bracelets in Istanbul, and I thought they would be something good for Mel to give away.
Mel would just give them to the nurses, she'd give them to the patients. She just loved doing that.
The bracelets brought Mel and everyone around her closer together. But then, in 2005, Mel lost her battle with breast cancer.
She lived life totally to the fullest, right till the end.
My last trip.
You must be special.
God is taking care of me.
In the aftermath, Mel's friends decided they had to do more to honor their beloved pal's memory.
After Mel passed away, people were noticing the colorful bracelet and saying, "Isn't that pretty? Where did you get that?" And it's, "Oh, Mel gave it to me." Mel? Oh, well, I want one. I want a piece of Mel.
They began asking people to make a donation for every bracelet and gave the money to this hospital where Mel had been treated.
The idea was that we would raise $5,000 for Mass General's Cancer Center. And that was in October. By the following May, we had raised $283,000.
That's great, unless you weigh 104 pounds.
After that, Pauline formed the Friends of Mel Foundation. And working from this office space, she and her staff have raised more than $4 million in just 2.5 years in the battle against cancer.
We've also made another donation to St. Luke's, and they're raising money right now to buy a breast digital imaging machine.
And on the credit card, is there a middle initial?
They sell the bracelets online and in establishments like Gallery 4 in Tiverton, Rhode Island.
We've raised over $100,000, probably more.
Oh, these are lovely. What are them?
The proceeds all go to finance efforts like those at the wellness community of Greater Boston.
It's a wonderful program where they provide free care for cancer patients and their families.
Pauline and the Friends of Mel have donated more than $150,000 to this facility alone.
Hi. Oh my goodness, look how handsome you look. Give me a hug.
Executive Director Ron Lipoff says that without generous donors like the Friends of Mel, thousands of cancer patients in the Boston area wouldn't get the care they need.
What they have accomplished in a very short period of time is nothing short of phenomenal. All of the services are free of charge. I mean, you help us do that. You enable us to do that.
According to those who know her best, that phenomenal level of achievement is all due to Pauline's dedication.
I think Pauline is a living saint. She's an inspiration to everyone.
I had the chance to pull all this information together about where we've donated money.
I couldn't be prouder of Pauline. I think she has been remarkable.
Quincy Medical Center's Cancer Walk, which I'm going to...
I would say Pauline is definitely a hero among us. Absolutely.
It's a labor of love for Pauline. It's a passion. And we're lucky to have her in the space, and people with cancer and their caregivers are lucky to have her.
So if you can up it from 200 to 250 women.
For the last 2 years, Pauline has overseen Friends of Mel while still working as a flight attendant. This year, she retired to devote herself full-time to carrying on Mel's legacy of giving. She says she knows her friend would be proud.
I see Mel still working her magic even though she's not here, you know, to do it personally. She would be so pleased with this. She would be thrilled to know that we're touching so many lives.
Anyone can become a friend of Mel and help in the battle against cancer by selling Mel's bracelets. All you have to do is contact the organization. Devoting countless hours toward fighting cancer is what makes Pauline Alighieri a DirecTV hometown hero. Coming up next, a nonprofit organization devoted to helping teenage girls goes nationwide.
The goal is to have one chapter in each state.
To nominate a hero, go to our website at directv.com/heroes. As a parent who has raised 3 teenage daughters, I invite you to pay close attention to this next story. It's about a young woman in Georgia who's found a way to make growing up a little easier for middle schoolers all across the country. Correspondent Jennifer Santiago explains.
Atlanta, Georgia. It's a city that's wrestling with relentless growth and change. Here at the Atlanta Girls School, these teenagers are coping with the same challenge, growing up.
What's our favorite icebreaker? Telephone.
Girls are very helpful.
Girl Talk is very helpful and I love it. Oh, that's nice.
These young women and 30,000 others like them around the country are part of a groundbreaking nonprofit group called Girl Talk.
Girl Talk is a peer-to-peer mentoring program where high school girls mentor middle school girls through that awkward 6th, 7th, and 8th grade years.
22-year-old Haley Kilpatrick founded Girl Talk when she was only 15.
Part of the reason why you decided to start Girl Talk is because you went through middle school and was aware of some of the challenges that you faced. What were some of the problems that you faced?
It's just social anxiety, not knowing who you are and what you stand for. It's just an awkward time. Your body's changing and you're trying to establish, you know, who you're going to become, and at times it can be challenging. As I got to high school, I saw my sister kind of experience the same symptoms of middle school, and I remembered how much I wanted an older sister to go to.
So Haley created Girl Talk to help teenagers like her sister. The concept is simple. High school girls sign up to conduct weekly meetings with middle schoolers to talk about whatever is on their minds.
Sometimes I feel kind of uncomfortable talking to teachers because, you know, like, it's kind of weird.
On my email, someone hacked into my account and they were sending all these nasty emails and everyone thought it was me.
Most meetings begin with the Girl Talk Creed, an acronym they call THINK.
True, helpful, important, necessary, and kind.
After that, the girls discuss everything from friendship to healthy eating, self-respect, time management, even divorce. The day we were there, the subject was gossip.
Why do you think girls do gossip? It's jealousy a lot of the times when you feel bad about yourself.
To stop gossip, another thing you can do is just go to the person directly that's being talked about instead of accepting the story secondhand.
You guys have structure. I mean, you really tackle issues.
It's very structured, and it has to be, because so much of what we do focuses on the negative, particularly at that age. You go home and I was the one with the hurt feelings, or I was the one that was left out, or so-and-so was so mean to me, or you wouldn't believe what she did. So we carve 1 hour out of the week where girls can talk about issues that they're going through or questions they may have.
Do any of you guys have any questions about gossip, like how we can help you with anything?
There's a difference between, like, voicing an opinion and gossiping about something.
13-year-old Kata told me these Girl Talk meetings are a place to safely navigate the challenges of becoming a young adult.
It's nice to have a sanctuary thing where you know it won't, what you say won't be repeated.
And you won't be judged?
Yeah. And then if you talk to a high schooler or someone your own age, they are either going through it right now or have been through it like a year or two ago. It's easier and more relatable.
Girl Talk mentor Johanna Schaefer went through struggles with alcohol and anger management just a few years ago.
Do you think that if you had Girl Talk when you were in middle school, that maybe you wouldn't have gone down that road?
Yeah. Yeah, if I had some older teenager to look up to who knew, would always be there to talk to, it would have helped so much. I couldn't talk to my parents, and I didn't have a friend to talk to, like a true friend.
And now with Girl Talk, you guys are sort of the true friends, right?
Right.
So how does it feel now to be on the other end of a true friend? You didn't get to receive, but you get to give.
Yeah, it feels great.
6th grade Dean Michelle Frost told me that Girl Talk is making a real impact at the school.
It's just so neat to be able to see that it's not forced, and they can do it themselves, and they have that ownership, and that's so important. And not only for the middle schoolers, but the upper schoolers, I think, really get a sense of pride of, yeah, I know what I'm talking about here, and my voice is being heard.
Without looking at the sheets, can you guys remember what think means?
Girl Talk has been so successful that it's now a mandatory class here at Atlanta Girls School.
Why is it part of a curriculum here? It must be pretty important according to the school, right?
It is. It's very important. And what's fascinating is 2 years ago, it was the students that actually led an initiative to begin a peer mentoring program.
This week, we challenge you to go out and try to only say things that go along with your think bracelets that you're going to wear.
Do you hope that as Girl Talk spreads, it will actually become a part of curriculums in schools all over the country?
I do. To have it in the curriculum definitely ensures that every girl here at Atlanta Girls School benefits from Girl Talk. So I definitely would like to see Girl Talk incorporated into the National Character Education Program.
What started in one school 6 years ago now is over 400 chapters in 27 states.
We got a new leadership contract from California. They FedExed it. I was like, there.
All run by a 22-year-old CEO.
The goal is to have Girl Talk at, one chapter in each state by 2010.
You've got Oklahoma now covered.
With 30,000 teenagers currently enrolled in Girl Talk, it's safe to say that Haley is helping to ensure that an entire generation of middle schoolers won't have to go it alone.
I would definitely recommend other schools and teachers adopt the program. We're a better place for her and for her program.
These are all our new leadership contracts for this school year.
It's incredible the work that she's done, the vision that Haley has had, and the work that she continues to do to make it as strong as it can be.
Yeah! There's 12.6 million middle and high school girls in need of a mentor, and I look forward to working to see that Girl Talk's available to all of them. 30,000 may seem like a lot of girls to a lot of people, but it's a drop in the bucket for us.
Haley says anybody can start a chapter in their community. All you need is an adult willing to serve as an advisor. Girl Talk provides all the tools you need to go from there. For her efforts on behalf of teenage girls everywhere in America, we are pleased to call Haley Kilpatrick a DirecTV hometown hero. Finally, tonight's hero update. Last season, correspondent Grant Goodeve told us about the inspiring story of Pastor Pat Wright, the founder of the Total Experience Gospel Choir, who has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for people recovering from Hurricane Katrina. Well, Pastor Pat recently returned from another trip to the Gulf Coast. More about that after this brief look at her story.
This little light of mine. Gospel has been part of Pat's life since childhood. By the time she was 20, she'd formed her own choir, dedicated to helping others.
I opened it up to the community, and kids came out of the woodwork. They came from all different directions and all kinds of situations in life. So we decided to call it the Total Experience Gospel Choir.
We have a bag full of baby and toddler clothes.
The choir also organized several donation drives. In the first 6 months alone, with the help of concert revenues and a radio fundraiser, Pat and her choir sent over $250,000 worth of donations and goods to Katrina victims. Her desire to give back continues, recently with a concert at St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Seattle. Amen.
We're trying to raise enough money to buy a Katrina cottage. Very small, yet very, very, very functionable houses to try to get families out of the FEMA trailers, one family at a time. God's grace appear the hour I first believed. Everybody, one more round. Amazing Grace, come on.
More than 30 years after starting her choir, Pastor Pat remains one of Seattle's great treasures. Day after day, she inspires her community to reach higher and go farther.
I think she's a saint walking around in this little body of hers. And I sometimes now refer to her as my other mother, because that's what it feels like.
The Total Experience Choir is my family. Their joys are my joys. Their hopes are my hopes. I strive to instill in them that there's nothing too hard for you to do. You just have to have faith to do it.
I was blind, but right now I can see.
Last year, Pastor Pat and her choir members returned to the Gulf Coast to finish rebuilding homes. She says her work there is ongoing. The inspirational stories you've just seen show how DirecTV subscribers are changing lives in their communities. Whether it's delivering tons of food and supplies to disaster survivors or just helping a young girl navigate her teen years, these unsung heroes show us how we can all make a difference. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on DirecTV Hometown Heroes. Until then, I'm Joan Lunden.
People get ready, there's a train coming, picking up passengers from coast to coast. All you need is faith to hear that diesel humming. You don't need no ticket, you just get on board. And I'm getting ready now. I'm gonna get on board.